Love it or hate it, the best team doesn't always win the championship in college basketball. You can That's the nature of the NCAA tournament beast. A great team can have an off night. You can and
Women's.
yeah, an okay team can play out of its mind in a single elimination bracket. Crazy stuff happens throughout college basketball history. Several powerhouse teams have captivated the nation with their stellar play, only to fall short of the ultimate glory. These squads, despite their remarkable talent and memorable seasons, are remembered despite flopping in the NCAA tournament. These are the 5 best college basketball teams that did not win a national title. Before we get there, we'll do some honorable mentions. First things first, we have the UCLA Bruins of 2007-2008 fame. Their record was 35-4, and their last game was the Final Four, 63-78 to Jeff's Memphis Tigers. Coach, talk to me about the 2007-2008 UCLA Bruins.
Man, this team was as talented as any team, man. The thing I think that got them was the youth. Even though once you get to March Madness, we always say if you're a freshman, you're not a freshman no more. If you're a sophomore, you're not a sophomore no more anymore. But I think that played a part in it. But they were loaded, man. Russell Westbrook, Kevin Love, Darren Collison,
Luke Rich and Mute.
Yeah, I think that
old on that team.
Yeah,
I just think the youth got a hold of them, and I think that's what hurt them.
I didn't even think of that joke. Oh, yeah, that's Jeff. What you think?
This is when I became a Russell Westbrook fan. This year, this season, this game was because of course they played Memphis, right? So this was my Russell. Like, I dude cold. They lost, but dude was a problem. So shout out to UCLA for this team. Kevin Love, shout out to Kevin Love too. Kevin Love was the guy. He was the guy on this team.
Yeah. Who was the coach of this team? Was it Mick Cronin? Nah, was it Steve Lavin?
Steve Lavin.
Steve Lavin makes sense.
Had to be Steve Lavin. Mick Cronin wasn't there yet.
I know he came in later, Paul.
Wave.
But like, I don't know. But I remember this team because their first team that they played, we're gonna say they played
Appalachian State Tech University.
Yeah. They hit them to 29 points.
Yeah.
And this is Russell Westbrook just playing defense. Kevin Love was the best player on that team, without a doubt. And you bring in Darren Collison, who's good as a college point guard that we've seen in a very long time. In terms of just raw ability, they were riding a 14-game winning streak.
Ben Howland.
Sure was. Ben Howland. Yep. Yeah. And then they just came across, I think, a better team in that Memphis team that we'll talk about soon. But yeah, man, just
spoiler alert.
Yeah, for sure. But that UCLA Bruins of 2007-2008 was a really good team. Sure. Next up, we have the Kansas Jayhawks, 2009-2010. Their record was 33-3, and their last game came into the second round, 67-69 to Northern Iowa. I remember this, Jeff.
Me too.
You remember this game?
I remember this game. Yeah. You can't. They were number 1 seed.
Yes,
for sure.
And Northern Iowa, like this was the definition of March Madness. Yeah. And his name escapes me. As everyone knows, coach for the Kansas.
Coach
Bill Self.
Bill Self. Yeah. Bill Self did a Bill Self thing.
I thought you was talking about Ollie Fruchmanish, because that's the dude that made that shot.
That's what. Well, yeah. But the fact that there even was a game, Bill Self tends to have these games against teams he should blow out. That's what I'm saying. But yes, you're correct. But it's not.
Yeah, this team, it was crazy because this Kansas team, they ran through the Big 12 regular season and the tournament. They barely played any close games. Like 10 of their 15 conference wins were by double digits. They were loaded with the Morris twins, Sharon Collins, Xavier Henry, Cole Aldridge, Tyshawn Taylor. And the funny thing is, Thomas Robinson was on this team.
Yeah.
He didn't even play.
He didn't even get no team.
That's how loaded this team was. So to see them who were finished second in offense and 8th in defense was crazy to see them lose this game.
Yeah. And that's how you look at it, because this team was looking for a second national title in 3 seasons. And they looked to be, like Jeff mentioned, number 1 seed. They were in good shape to do that. With all that team, Sharon Collins, your leading scorer on the team, they just ran into a hot team. And Ali Farouk-Manish, man, led them to a huge shot. He's a coach now. I don't know where Ali coaches at right now, but March is a cruel beast. Because if they get past Northern Iowa, I think they win the entire tournament that year. They
had like you said, not having no close games, man. You have it right at that time right there. You start second guessing yourself. Man, everything go wrong.
You got to be battle tested, man. You got to get in there and have some of those games.
I think they overlooked them though.
Yeah,
I really
do.
Second round, they wasn't worried about nothing to the second weekend, coach.
And what's funny, and this is it's not off subject, but shout out to Tigers. Everybody know what NCAA tournament this year. the worst thing that could have happened for us was that now ESPN puts out those articles. They put out an article that said the highest percentage of 16 seeds to upset 1 seed, the highest percentage who had picked 15. Yeah. They picked us as the best 15 seed to upset the 2 seed. And even if you are sleeping as a 2 seed, when you see that, now you give them bulletin board material. So I think they saw that and was like, nah, we're not going to sleep on them.
Nah. And Ali Farouk is the head coach at Colorado State right now.
Oh, how long he been there?
Since 2025.
So he coached my boy.
Yeah. What's my boy name? Neek.
Yes.
Yeah, Neek. Neek Clifford. Yeah, Cole. Yeah,
Cole.
The reason that they're finna blow up that team in Sacramento is because a dude that played for Colorado State named Neek Clifford. Cole. You hear me? Gonna average 22, 23 next year. I'm telling you, in Sacramento.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's get to the list. Coming in at number 5, we have the Duke Blue Devils of 2024-2025 with a record of 35-4 in their last game. Was in the Final Four, 67-70 to the Houston. What are they?
Cougars.
Okay, bet for sure. Coach, talk to me about this team.
Man, this Duke team ran into the Houston defense, man. That everybody knows Sampson's defensive teams are second to none. But this Duke team, they looked like they were going to go straight from AP Player National of the Year with Cooper Flag because they were playing so efficient. They swept the ACC regular season and the tournament, which hadn't been done since 2006. They won 31 games of 32 games in a row through November to March. And they finished with the highest KenPom net rating in the last 25 years.
Yeah, man.
So it looked like they were just going to run through this tournament, but they ran into that Houston defense that Kellen Sampson installs in those goals.
Or it could be a situation of John Shire just not coaching well in the second half because that's really, he just got out coached. Which is usually his problem.
Somebody had to say
Go ahead, Jim.
No, that was it. Yeah. No, you said it. That was it. Like, this team had all the talent where you got your rookie of the year and your co-rookie of the year or second finish rookie, whatever you want to look at it. Yeah. They had it on this team. So, yeah.
And it goes back to saying that the ACC wasn't at its best in 2024 and 2025. So, again, going back to that Kansas team, you didn't get a lot of bump during the regular season. And now you get into a tough spot, like Coach mentioned, with the Houston team that play defense out of this world. But and again, with this exercise, you can only pick one team from any of the teams. So it couldn't be the Duke 1998, 1919, because that's what I'm trying to tell you. That team shit the bed too. They shit the bed too. They won 32 straight games, and then they met up with Connecticut, and they got blown out. Elton Brand was on that team as well. But back to this Duke team, 2024, 2025. Just the way that they looked and all of that talent. You got 5 guys that currently on the NBA roster right now. And Tyrese Maxey, Sion James, of course Cooper Flag, my guy Con Knipple, and what's my post name? Man Maluwatch that plays for Phoenix. So that's what I'm saying. Like, with that team, 2 of those guys could come back to Duke right now. They win a national title. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and they still should have won it. They still should have won it this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. And I think it is. You don't see a lot of Coach K teams choking like this, but back-to-back years, Duke Blue Devils, they choke at a high level, and I just worry about the long-term effect that it could have for John Shire. So Duke coming in at 5 though. Coming in at number 4, Jeff, we have the Memphis Tigers of 2007-2008 with a record of 38-2. And they were in the national championship game, and they lost to Kansas 68-75. Jeff,
this broke my heart.
Yeah.
This is the game that took me away from college basketball. Been a Memphis Tiger fan most of my life. Starting with Mingo Johnson, moving into my favorite player at the time, Penny Hardaway, moving into Lorenzo Wright, David Vaughn, Elliot Perry. Yeah. Then you get this team together. You had Joey Dorsey, Dozier, you had Derrick Rose, CDR, Andre Allen, you had, come on, man, like,
them boys fun to watch too.
But couldn't shoot a free throw.
If it saved it,
now one person on the team could shoot a free throw.
Not name.
All the talent in the world, but you couldn't shoot a free throw.
They were loaded. It's a loaded team, man. Yeah, that hurts you.
Overtime.
No, for real. Yeah. That's why you don't watch college. But I can see it though. I've been there.
This game, it ain't hit the same since then. Yeah. Calipari League, go to Kentucky.
It's bad. Yeah. Go. I remember watching this game. Like, they missed them first 3 or 4 free throws, And then Derrick Rose is at the free throw. I'm like, all right, he gonna make one of these. Like the odds are so they done missed like 4 or 5 in a row. Like all they got to get is one, and he missed that one. I was sitting there in disbelief. Yeah. It's like at that point you could see they were scared to go to the free throw line. Like they were shook at that point. And Mario Chalmers hit the big three that everybody remembers. Yep. And the rest is history.
Yep. Chris Douglas Roberts was the leading scorer on that team. 18 a game. Yep. 38 wins, man. And it's the second team that John Calipari had vacated for whatever he was doing wrong. That's probably super legal right now.
0-2 is what the record stands is now.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? That's crazy.
0-2.
0-2. Yeah, man. Shout out to the Memphis Tigers 2007, 2008. Going into this exercise, I thought that the Memphis team would be maybe honorable mention. No.
Then you looked at the team.
Yeah.
This was the year. This was the
year. Yeah. Coming in number 3, we have the Gonzaga Bulldogs, 2020, 2021. The record of 31-1. National championship game. You get curb stomped by Baylor, 70-86. Yeah. Coach, talk to me about Gonzaga.
Second unbeaten team to reach the title game since Indiana did it. They were dominant all year. They lead the nation in scoring with Drew Timme, Corey Kispert.
Yeah, Drew Timme.
And even though they played in the West Coast Conference, their coach knew that their conference wasn't as strong, so they didn't duck anybody.
Ooh.
They played Kansas.
Yeah.
They played Virginia. Yeah. They played Iowa. They played West Virginia. They had Jalen Suggs, who was a freshman at the time, banked in the three at the buzzer in the semifinal game.
And, Coach, that's what I think the reason that they lost that game.
It's emotional.
They were emotionally drained after that big ass shot.
Yep.
They were never the same.
Yep. And that's why I think South Carolina lost that game to UCLA too.
It's true.
It was an emotional letdown. But going back to the guys, man, it's tough. That's why you see a lot of people say they would not want to go into the NCAA tournament undefeated because it's so much pressure of everyone talking about the undefeated season, So you see some coaches and players say they rather take one loss here and there before they get in there, so it's not as much pressure. Because that's a lot of pressure to go into the national championship game at 31-0.
Yeah, 31-0.
So they just ran out of gas and ran into that Baylor team.
Yep. Yeah.
Shout out to Drew Timme still getting paid to play basketball. Then.
Drew Timme, yeah,
he get clocked with the Lakers.
Yeah, for sure.
Drew Timme, man. This is one of those ones I was like, what you say, parachuting in the season because again Memphis broke my heart. Yeah. So I would hear, man, Gonzaga ain't lost. I'm like, what? And I see they playing like, man, Baylor gonna beat the hell out of them. People thought I was lying. Yeah. I just didn't understand it. But looking back on their team on paper, they got a solid squad.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for y'all. So having such a big game in the Final Four, and I know it doesn't make any sense, like logistically, right? But say if you have a big game like this in college football, there's 6 days to kind of process what's going on.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a way that the Final Four being a day or 2 days for sure after that game would be a kind of way, maybe pushing it to Tuesday or something like that, giving you one more day to kind of decompress? Because it's a lot of pressure to play in that game, or it's just the nature of the beast and you just got to play through.
Just nature of the beast, man. In basketball, that's because you've been trained to do that not all season, but
your life,
all tournament time. Because when you play your conference tournament, you play on Friday, you play Saturday, championship games the next day, or if semifinals on Friday, your championship game is on Saturday. Yeah. So that's why they call themselves giving you that extra day because it is a national championship game. They give you that day break. Yeah. So I don't think that'll ever change.
Yeah. This is the thing, though, with this team. That Gonzaga team, like everybody mentioned, Jalen Suggs, NBA player, Corey Kispert just got traded, still a formidable role player. Drew Timme's playing. But people don't know Andrew Nembhard was on this team. Julian Strawther was also on this team. This was one of the best Gonzaga teams that they've ever put together. Yeah. I just think they ran into one of the best teams in the last 25 years with that Baylor team. That Baylor team, it was a dude that played for them. Oh, man. I think it was McCain. What was his name?
They was old, too.
They
that
had
Baylor team
was old
right?
ass team. And when I said and tell you this.
It was like that North Carolina Baycock team.
Dude, I think it was Davion Mitchell. It was Davion Mitchell was on that team. And that damn Davion Mitchell, that's when he got the nickname Off Night. Because he was sliding something so crazy. It was him and Butler. Jared Butler was on that team. That was the backcourt. And I ain't never seen no team play defense like that in my entire life. The only other teams I've seen play defense like that was Frank Martin's South Carolina team when they had Dozier, and man, they played Duke, and they put them white boys in the trunk so crazy. I ain't never seen nothing like Frank Martin. We known historically as he's always coached black teams. He coached Udonis Haslam and high school, and then he went to he had Steve Blake too. Steve Blake with the hands. Steve Blake with the hands. From in Miami, but he had that South Carolina team spinning, and the only other defensive team I seen play like that was this 2020-21 Davion Mitchell led Baylor team, who still plays in the NBA as well.
You know who was a freshman on that team?
Who?
L.J. Cryer.
L.J. Cryer. Damn, what a name.
Yeah.
That's a name. Yeah, man. That's a squad, man. Yeah, that Gonzaga team was loaded. I really think that it was just a letdown from such a big shot. Coming in at number 2 is the Illinois Fighting Illini, which aren't named the Fighting Illini anymore. 2004, 2005 with a record of 37-2, and they also made it to the national championship game, losing 70-75 to the UNC Tar Heels. Great day to be a Tar Heel that day. Coach, talk to me about this Illinois team.
It's what my boy was rolling, Ron Williams, man. But the backcourt was crazy. Him, D. Brown, and Luther Head all on the same team. It's one of the best backcourts in college history, man. But that UNC team was loaded too. They had 4 lottery picks on that team.
Yeah.
So it was a battle of pros basically on this team. Right. It was a great matchup. And UNC just got the best stuff, man. They just overmatched, kind of.
Yeah.
Luther Hill was one of my favorite players in college.
Great player.
Yeah. I can't explain why.
Yeah, something about Luther Head.
Yeah, I like Luther Head.
Anything about people that got the most recognition on that team was Luther Head and D. Brown.
Yeah.
But Darren Williams ended up being the best pro, which is crazy. Yeah. Go ahead, Jim.
Oh no, I was just. This was a great game. Great game. It was just great to see Illinois in the national championship game. That was cold.
Yeah. And that team, man, it was a 3-headed monster. Those 3: Darren Williams, D. Brown, and Luther Head. I think that was, besides the LJ, Stacey Augmon, and what's my boy name, Greg Anthony, team, a trio. Yeah, that was a tough trio, man. Yeah. Tough trio. Now, of course, you have the Leitner, Grant Hill, Bobby Hurley, but as far as like the names, just like what they did, that's a tough trio, man. And they shot 40% from 3, the entire team.
Goodness.
43 for the season.
That's ball.
I ain't never heard of no shit like that.
That's wild.
Yeah, so
and that's a time with threes wasn't shot a lot. They wasn't shooting threes like they shot now.
I think it's one of those things, man. They just struggled to a team that just didn't miss that night. I remember us watching that game, and I think we shot like 54% from the field that game. Just didn't miss. Just didn't miss, and we still only won 70-75. You understand what I'm saying? So, again, Sean May, Rashad McCants, Raymond Felton was in that team. And
Marvin Williams off the bench, right?
Marvin Williams off the bench. Yeah. Great squad. One of our better squads.
Only one win lottery, but off the bench, though. Well, he wasn't the only one win lottery, but he got picked like 11.
He did,
but he didn't play.
No, he went like 4, bro.
To like Utah or Atlanta,
something like that. Yeah, for sure. That was a squad.
I couldn't believe that.
Yeah. Hey, coming in at number 1 is the Kentucky Wildcats. This is the 2014-2015. It's number 1. 38-1. Yeah. National championship game loser, 64-71 to Wisconsin. Who had a squad. That was a good-ass Wisconsin team.
Kaminsky.
Yeah, Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank.
My guy, Sam Decker, was on that team.
It was a very Wisconsin team.
Yeah, Jeff, talk to me about this Kentucky Wildcats team.
It's a Calipari thing. Yeah. This is what his teams do. Had the same problem my Memphis Tigers had, man. They had the most talent in the world. They were not undefeated going into this. They lost one before this, right? No, they lost national championship. They lost national championship. They were undefeated going into this. This should have been a cakewalk. But Frank the Tank and Decker, they were not going. And it was this is one of those ones.
I hate that.
It was rough to
coach.
watch.
He was smiling. He was so, and this is at the time when I'm a big Calipari guy. I love John Calipari, and so I'm rooting for Kentucky. Devin Booker was my guy on this team. But the smirk that the coach for Wisconsin had, bald head dude, I don't remember his name. It pissed me off, and I was like, oh, he was like arrogant and like pompous, like, oh, we're gonna beat all these black kids. I don't know. I saw
it was that, and add that on to it. It was the way Calipari was doing it. because everybody was one and done. He was one and done. He was shuffling in the team every year.
Mm-hmm.
Every year. So
McDonald's All-Americans.
every year. So they did.
Death Row. That was Death Row.
That was definitely different.
Death Row.
Hey, you got 1 year.
Man,
Yeah, you come back next year, the spot's not guaranteed.
100%.
And so
Ryan, that's who you talking about.
Bo Bryant.
Bo Ryan. I hated that. It was him and Rick Majerus. I didn't like Rick Majerus.
At Utah.
We had Keith Van Horn. He would look the way that they would look. It would be like.
But you got coach.
Yeah, man.
This
Kentucky team was loaded, man. Like the Harrison twins, like he said, D Book, Willie Cauley-Stein. Was on that team, and Trey Lyles. And they had the young small guard in Tyler Eulis.
Oh.
Cold, fast, and none of them averaged more than 26 minutes a game.
Yep.
It was just too much talent and for them to play more minutes than that. But they just couldn't get it done, man. Once again, I think that pressure of going into that game 38-0, I think that has something to do with it as well.
Yeah, man. Tyler Eulis was so cold, and he didn't even like the Harrison twins were consummate professionals. So if you stayed 2 years at Kentucky, you weren't gonna play in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just one of them things. So you saw both of them starting, and you had Book there, and you just saw how good Book was. Cat was on that team.
Mm-hmm.
He was the best. Bro, he averaged 10 points a game.
It's crazy.
On that Kentucky team, man. And
Book averaged 11, right?
yeah, if that, maybe not like 7, coach.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it just seemed like a foregone conclusion. Like Jeff mentioned, they were going to win this national title. And, 2-point win over Notre Dame in the Elite Eight. Showed some vulnerability against them. And just couldn't keep Wisconsin from shooting 47% and going 18 for 22 from the free throw line.
Was this the start of the Drake curse?
I think it was.
Was this the start of the Drake?
I think this was that team.
I think it might have been.
Because he's at the Midnight Madness.
He said Boogies.
That's Boogie.
Oh,
That's Boogie, right.
Boogie and John Wall.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah.
He was early. Yeah.
He was sitting in their film room.
Yeah, he was sitting
at the Midnight Madness.
Yeah.
I rock Kentucky Blue on these hoes.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Kentucky Blue on these
That's a good exercise, guys. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
We thought about doing women's as well. But here's the thing.
Watch yourself.
You run into juggernauts. Tennessee had a run. No, shit. Tennessee had a run where it was hard to get past them. Of course, Notre Dame had a hell of a run with Muffin McGraw. It was hard to get past them. Of course, UConn.
Of course.
South Carolina had
South
a
Carolina's
run too.
competitive.
Yeah.
UConn. Yeah.
Hey, man.
You got that blip, that LSU blip.
LSU had a little run.
Yeah. Baylor had a
with BG.
Stanford.
Yeah, Stanford had a run. Tara, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it really ain't no like the only blips. So you guys talking about literally it was Kim Mulkey.
Yeah.
Because she was at Baylor and also at LSU.
Yeah.
And then you run into Stanford. Just really good coaching.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. It's one more team that we missing, y'all.
It's the
That's
UConn.
mixed in between that.
That won it, or
Notre
just,
Dame.
They won it all, or just
won it. Yeah.
oh.
Kentucky. I mean, not Kentucky.
No, I think that's all
South
of them.
Carolina.
It was always Stanford, Baylor, LSU. I think that might be it. I don't think nobody ever got over them.
Yeah, you get a little tricky in between that. So yeah, I mean, those were gonna be probably the 5 teams that we'll be like, it was just a good year. But I'm telling you what, there was a stretch. People don't talk about it. Gino didn't win a ring for like 9 years.
Yeah.
It was like 9 years. He missed 4 with Crystal Dangerfield and Kia Nurse and them.
Yeah.
Their entire team didn't win one. So yeah, he had a run where he had to really get to it, and he'll be fine. But I really do think
That's who we missed
Who?
in 2011.
who won?
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M snuck in there 1-1.
Yeah.
Sidney Colson.
Yeah.
Sidney Colson.
Okay, that
and,
makes sense.
the coach at Texas was on that team.
Mm-hmm.
What's baby girl name?
Sid.
Yes.
Sidney Carter.
Sidney Carter.
Sid.
Yeah, that's it though, right?
Come on now.
So you got to go all the way back to 2006.
Wow. Who else? Who won in 2006?
Maryland.
Who was on that team?
I ain't got it.
Your homegirl.
Light skin.
No.
Tweet us with questions. Tweet us with questions.
A push shot. Alyssa Thomas was on that team, right?
She what? Oh,
Yeah, she went to Maryland.
06?
maybe.
And hell no, she ain't that old.
Yeah, 06. That's right.
Nah, you know who's on that team? The point guard. The black homegirl.
Light skin girl. Oh no.
What's baby girl name?
Light skin?
Yeah.
Yeah, she coaching there, right?
Yeah,
she used to
she
play
used
for the
to.
for the Smarts.
Yeah. What's her name? I just had it.
Tweet us some questions.
I'm gonna get it there.
Yeah.
2005.
I'm telling you, Maryland had a run.
Yeah.
What's her
It
name?
ain't Bobby. It's
No, we're finna get out of here, but we got to figure that lady's name.
Christy Tyler.
Christy Tolliver. Black is
my dog.
I know
That's my
Black.
dog, too.
Yeah, I know Black is screaming
Yeah.
as he listening.
Yeah.
Christy Tolliver.
Yeah.
Christy Tolliver. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.